Hey guys, YodaJoe93 and Elevation Gaming. So for the past couple days, I've literally been talking to my friend AJ and several other friends, and with some of the rises and the falls that Marvel has been going through, whether you liked Doctor Strange, didn't like Doctor Strange, enough time has passed, so we can kind of pass our judgment on whatever that was, or whether we feel about the current fate of Phase 4. But I saw some people saying in the comments, and as well as many conversations I've had with friends, they've stopped watching the DC shows, they've stopped paying attention to the movies because they just see DC as an overall failure. But the thing that is the mistake is you guys want DC and Marvel to be the same, but they're never going to be the same. They will always be different. Because I hate to break it to you guys, but when we do get Deadpool in the MCU, they're going to have to use a different company to make it, because Disney will never allow them to push the boundaries of where things need to go with some Marvel stories. Which is why I think, unfortunately, if you want to talk about one that fails, sometimes Marvel stories fall flat because they're lacking the materials that they need. And they just listen to their CEO overlords instead of biting the bullet and go, oh, let's move to another studio. Mm-hmm. DC built themselves under one roof so they could all make the darker content that they've known for. Because I hate to break it to you guys, but Marvel is easier for general audiences, normies, to digest. DC is complex as hell. Like there are shows and movies and things that just take it. But I see the criticism of Marvel's more fun than DC. That's not always true. Shazam's quite a fun movie, and it still qualifies as a DC movie. Peacemaker was a bona fide comedy, and I'm going to say something bold for you right now. Jim's Gunn, I'm hollering at you right now, all right? You listening to this? I will take Peacemaker Season 1, and if Season 2 is as good as Season 1, I'll take both of them over both Guardians films. Because for me, as much as the Guardian movies are good, and those were good work for you in the Marvel world, I just feel like you did something so original and unique with a character that nobody really cared for in the Suicide Squad, and then you made it funny, and it was something we hadn't seen. And
plus, Peacemaker is memorable. When you look back at Guardians, for me, in my opinion, I feel like Guardians, I can't really remember much other than the Gamora and Thanos.
You only remember the characters. There's not really as many memorable moments. Like there's some things in Marvel that are really good, and there's some things that are bad. I personally am going to throw something controversial. Well, I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I've been disappointed by Phase 4 of Marvel. Things I liked in Marvel. Hawkeye I liked. Moon Knight I liked. I really liked Shang-Chi. I really liked Eternals. I like aspects of Spider-Man No Way Home, but I thought, like Pedro Pascal says, it was good, but it can be better. Exactly. I felt like there definitely could be better. And Doctor Strange, I'm going to say, I've been wrestling with it straight out. I straight up hated Doctor Strange because it was a WandaVision sequel.
Yeah.
It was not... I waited since Infinity War for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 1 is one of my absolute favorite Marvel movies.
Same.
It's one of the most underrated movies. And they failed that promise.
And freaking Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
And for them not to do it justice, it pisses me off.
They failed on that regard. It just really was sad to see. They didn't bring in Dormammu. They brought in his daughter and all these other things. And one thing and another, while the Snyderverse wasn't my favorite thing that DC did, we know that they're not really planning on doing much with that, and they've done a new fresh start. If you look at what they did at when we did the DC Fandom coverage, you can see that when they planned to do the Batman and they're doing the sequel Shazam, Aquaman 2, all these new movies, that is the future of DC. That Peacemaker, all those things, that is a fresh look. That is what they are doing to reinvent anything. And that's why you're seeing all these DC shows, as sad as I am about Batwoman, as a fan of Batwoman, being canceled. They just realized that things needed to go. Because they want to, like Marvel, they want to be under the same roof where everything is all one universe, but they're not going to do it in the same way as Marvel because they don't have as many limitations. They can put a character like Batman in their universe, and the Batman was so amazing. It's still my favorite movie of the year, easily. Or one of them, because I also really like Everything All at Once. So those two are probably neck and neck. No, you need to watch that one. Yeah. Hopefully it comes to DVD and streaming pretty soon.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, those two are very close. But the Batman still is just it's amazing they were able to make a 3-hour movie about one character and make it about multiple characters and make that world so rich and interesting.
Yeah, and that was one of the best action scenes I've seen in ages.
Yeah,
too.
there've been really good action scenes, and even cooler. Like if you pick up the Blu-ray and stuff, there's apparently really good fight deleted scenes that you can get too. So we might have to pick up the Blu-ray pretty soon. I don't know if they have it on the HBO Max version too. I'll have to check, but I know the Blu-rays came out yesterday, and you can see the extra deleted scenes, which is really awesome. So you can get that, and just like. The point of this whole thing, guys, is you need to understand that the two are different. And whether you love some of the things Marvel's doing and you might disagree with some of the things DC's doing, you can't completely give up on one or expect that the two are going to be together.
Exactly.
Because even Stan Lee himself said that they were never going to, he would have loved to work on DC characters, but as much as everyone would want to see a crossover between the two, if you could do a crossover, it would have to be done in the right way and they'd have to use the right characters. And the thing is, while Marvel has done a good job at building a universe, DC has better characters. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. I love the actor that plays Marvel, but just on characters alone, DC not only started out with all access to their characters, I can think of like 10 more characters that I love more than half the Marvel characters I love. And that's just the truth. It's sad to say. I'm not saying I'm a DC or a Marvel fan, but I will say at this stage, I've been more impressed with the new growth for DC than I have been the new growth of Phase 4.
For sure.
Because Marvel they still have that Thanos stuck up their ass. They don't get it. They're like, Thanos was our big threat. It is time to move on. Give me Doctor Doom. Give me Galactus. We saw fucking Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. So,
and for Pete's sake, they already brought Galactus into Fortnite. Why not just pull it back up?
Yeah, exactly. Just pull it back up, put it
Perfect
in the movies. It's really not that hard. Like this is just aggravating, guys, because I could write them scripts that would sell their stories to be better. They could make a cohesive world and make it interesting. They could have brought Deadpool in and then set up his stuff in Multiverse of Madness and then build upon him further. If they want to push that PG-13 rating to the letter like they tried to, they should do more. They should have had more cameos. Yep. Where the hell was Norman Reedus' Ghost Rider? I want to see that shit. Where the hell was Keanu Reeves' new character that he's supposed to play? What about Jason Statham's new character? Like, where's the report on that? Like, I just feel like I've been a Marvel fan all my life. I grew up watching the cartoons, reading the comics, and I'm really in a struggling place with the MCU right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not excited for Captain Marvel. Or Miss Marvel, I should say. I didn't care for Captain Marvel, but that's another side note. That's another one of the list. But I don't know, I'm not feeling Miss Marvel. I'm going to still watch it. I'll still do watch parties for you guys. I'll watch the first 2 episodes and judge it. If I feel like it's not for me, then I'm going to bounce and say I'm out. But just know that I'm going to be a lot more critical of Marvel in the past because of their track record. If you can do 20-something movies and most of them are successful, and you make things like Dark World before things weren't crazy, and then they go and make things that just aren't good, then they can do better. And they should. We should hold them to the standards that they need to do better.
Yeah, and they can do better. It's not that we're yelling at them, telling them what to do. It's that as fans of Marvel and even DC, if you give criticism, it's to help them make better content. It's not to bash them and say, hey, I'm never watching your stuff again.
No.
Because, of course, we love them.
Yeah.
It's just we're trying to help better them.
We think we need to better the universe and make it more unified and just make it better. We think it can be better, guys.
Yeah.
It can absolutely be better. And I think that is just the number one thing to expect is expect better things. There can be better things coming, and just don't get me wrong, there's criticism for DC that can still be said too and can still be improved. Like the fact that DC has not nailed a successful universe yet. I just believe in what's going on at DC right now that I know they're going to get their shit together.
Yep.
They have new management. The Batman was such a huge success. I believe Shazam 2 will be a success. I believe the new Aquaman, especially now that Amber Heard's down to like less than 10 minutes, movie's going to be amazing. Like, it's going to have Black Manta, which was one of my favorite characters. DC can definitely improve some great stuff, and they're taking the right steps. It's interesting how people criticize that we've had so many different versions of Spider-Man and Batman, but if you really think about it, while you might love The Dark Knight, and while you might love, maybe you loved Batman vs. Superman because you loved Ben Affleck's Batman, Robert Pattinson was the first time they've gotten Batman right. Like, really. Like, they made a true Batman movie. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, but it was not a true Batman trilogy. It was them trying to make what they thought Batman could be in a realistic, gritty world. But what makes Batman unique is that he grows up in a world that is not fully realistic. There are weird things that happen in Gotham that are beyond human comprehension. Like, he's dealt with magic, he's dealt with weird creatures, Joker's on another level, like, and I'm excited to see that world build. And I don't necessarily need to see Batman leading the Justice League or anything crazy in this universe, but the door's definitely open to do that. I'm sure they pay Robert Pattinson that extra bucks. He probably say, hell yeah, I'm going to join more movies. I'm going to do these Batman movies, and then you want me to come over and beat up aliens with you? Who would turn down that deal? Like,
not me.
Yeah, and I'd be down to see it. And I think this is the future. And with Marvel, it's time to stop doing these, they're standalone movies, but they include Avengers. You either make more Avengers movies, or you make more team-up movies that maybe aren't just Avengers, but are other team-up films, but structure it like a team-up movie.
Yeah.
Like, why would you market No Way Home as a Spider-Man movie when you were going to only half-ass include the other Spider-Man and then include the villains? Just make a multiverse movie and stick to it. And market it what it is. Like, for instance, if they would have said from the get-go, Doctor Strange 2 was going to be a horror movie from the start in the marketing, then I would have said, this is fine. You made a nice little horror movie. Cool. Good for you guys. But instead, you marketed it as a multiverse movie, making our minds think, we're going to go to all these different places. We're going to go to prehistoric times, dinosaur times. Like,
it's all about the lack of communication from the company, too.
Exactly.
Leading us on to believe that they were not going to put the other Spider-Mans in there.
Yep.
It just did not sit well with their fans. And now we're expecting more of them, more from them, I mean. And it's just haywire. Yeah,
and also the fact that Sam Raimi made the Spider-Man trilogy that people are most known for. And he even said in interviews that he wanted Tobey to come back. There was time. Why didn't you just move him over and have him come shoot some stuff? Or if you did have him come shoot something and deleted it, then you were an idiot for deleting what you had, because that would have been genius stuff. Yep. People want to see Tobey with Sam Raimi. I'm hoping if you bring Sam Raimi in for another project, I'm hoping you bring in Tobey. You need to focus on, it's time to move on. We need a new threat. We need something that's going to bring everybody together. It's time to stop doing these standalone movies and then marketing them as bigger movies. See, at least when you're marketing Thor, you're marketing it as a Thor movie, but we know that other characters are involved. And we can take Thor at face value. Thank the Lord, Taika Waititi, you're just a genius. Ragnarok is in my top 5 MCU movies. Ragnarok is incredible. I mean, so I trust Taika Waititi, and we know Taika Waititi is going over to do Star Wars. So I think he's an absolute genius, especially working for Marvel. So I think Love and Thunder is going to be great. I think it's going to slap. I'm hoping it's going to restore my faith because it looks absolutely phenomenal from the trailers. And that's the thing. Like, just, you guys can do better. We're asking as fans, make stronger, better movies. Tell us what we're getting. Like, obviously don't spoil the movie, but just give us a general idea of the story of the movie. So what we should be expecting. Because, I mean, we were thinking everything from, like, what if characters coming into live action.
Yep.
And that didn't even fully happen. They had Evil Doctor Strange. He was in the movie for, 5-10 minutes? Like, did nothing. And Captain Carter, they don't even confirm whether she's the same one from the show, and then they just kill her. Like,
and sure, Doctor Strange turned into a freaking zombie, but that's not what we were expecting from the way it was communicated.
When they showed the zombie thing in the trailer communicated, I thought we were going to get, like, freaking Marvel zombies all over the place. Like, I wanted a fucking planet of Marvel zombies. Like, that's how you do it. There you go, guys. I wrote your Multiverse of Madness movie. You get your... I'm putting my list on for the Marvel Zombie movie now, too, by the way. So, if you're asking for a new director, I'll take a couple extra money. I'll come direct your zombie movie. Give me all the resources I need. I'm here for it. I'll come make it. You can pay me half the budget, and we'll call it over. Just give me what I need. Let me team up with Sam Raimi. We'll make some good zombie magic. Make some Evil Dead, but add some Deadpool in there. Have some Deadpool killing some zombies. We'll make Evil Dead, but instead of Ash, it will be it'll be Deadpool starring.
I'd watch it.
Exactly.
That's
So,
for sure.
so yeah, guys, I think this is my point. This isn't even necessarily a rant. It's just clarification of where I'm at with my Marvel and DC faith, and I'm curious in the comments below. Let me know where you guys are seeing. Do you guys like when I do these in-depth videos? Are you guys interested in seeing my thoughts on these things? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.